Now on the CTV News at 5. A major construction project is about to get underway on Whoop Up Drive. Plus, reservoir levels in southern Alberta are slightly down. And a new study has found the pandemic was not good for waistlines.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. A major construction project is set to get underway on Whoop Up Drive next week. The more than 2-month-long project will allow crews to complete the final stage of the bridge rehabilitation project. While traffic will likely be impacted by several lanes being closed, the city says it's necessary work that needs to be done. Carson Marsouk reports.
A significant project is about to be started on Whoop Up Drive next week.
Anytime you work on a bridge, it's major, and you always want to extend the life because obviously Whoop Up is a very important route from west side to south side and vice versa.
The city will be completing the second and final phase of the bridge rehabilitation project throughout the end of July, all of August, and into September.
The expansion joints are something like 40 years old, and they're leaking. And of course what that means is the salts and the erosion goes through the joints and then starts deteriorating the structure below.
To allow crews to complete that work, 2 lanes of traffic will be shut down at that time with a reduced speed limit.
We're putting one westbound lane of traffic onto the south side of the bridge. So now there'll be 2 lanes in both directions. However, we're going to use our famous converters or diverters and to move traffic over to the other side.
The city says traffic delays are expected. It's asking drivers to plan ahead, take Highway 3, and use the city's web cameras to avoid being stuck in traffic. The city says planning to minimize delays have been ongoing for more than a year.
We have a University Drive project, paving project. We want to get finished first. We're making sure that the highway department, they're complete all their work before we start our work on the bridge.
Carson Marsouk, CTV News, Lethbridge.
The cost of the project is nearly $2 million. Construction of a new pathway along Exhibition Way got underway today. City crews began removing an aging timber retaining wall and pathway near the south end of Exhibition Way. Now, regarding the earth berm behind the wall, it will be complete along with the installation of a new chain link fence. A wider, smoother asphalt path will also be installed. A pedestrian detour has been set up, and there may be some lane closures. Construction is expected to be complete by August 15th. Gina Martin has the forecast for us today. And Gina, a damp day out there. How long will the rain last?
Yeah, it's not going to go really anywhere anytime soon. We'll get some breaks, but we'll also see several rounds of wet weather, including thunderstorms like we saw last night. So a quick look at the radar satellite from that evening storm yesterday. You see it pushing through here right around 8 o'clock and then really building energy as it gets over to Saskatchewan there. A lot of lightning associated with that system yesterday. We saw about 13 millimeters of rain from it as well. We'll get the totals from today, tomorrow, but we do have rainfall warnings in effect throughout parts of southern Alberta along the BC border there, severe thunderstorm watches to the west and air quality advisories to the east. So lots happening, but here's where we're at right now. 14 degrees currently, probably about our high for today, Jackie. We'll have more on what's in store for the rest of the week coming up.
All right, thank you, Gina. Well, the cool wet weather has allowed Lethbridge County to downgrade its fire ban to fire restrictions. The county says the rain this weekend and a cool wet week ahead has allowed the fire ban to be downgraded. A fire restriction allows for recreational campfires, burn barrels, and charcoal barbecues to be used. The county says controlled burns and fireworks, those are still prohibited. The county says it will continue monitoring the weather conditions to determine when burning restrictions are needed. The cleanup continues in Calgary after a severe thunderstorm rolled through that parts of the city. The storm moved through yesterday evening, bringing heavy rain, extreme wind, uprooted trees, and even golf ball-sized hail fell in some parts of Calgary. Power was also knocked out for some areas in the north. Some roads were left with pooling water in the aftermath. We have more on that damage and cleanup coming up at 6. A large power outage caused by the storm last night has forced a boil water advisory from the hamlet of Granham. An emergency alert went out shortly after 11 o'clock last night, stating the advisory had been put in place after a power outage caused pressure in the hamlet's water lines that fell below the safe threshold. Until further notice, all water used for drinking, brushing teeth, cooking, and washing food must be brought to a rolling boil for at least 1 minute before use. Water that is used for bathing, showering, and laundry, that is safe, but residents in Granham should not swallow it. The MD of Willow Creek says it hopes to have the advisory lifted by Wednesday afternoon.
Procedure for that is that we're going to be taking 2 samples on subsequent consecutive days in order to ensure that the water is safe for consumption.
Fortis Alberta tells CTV News that the severe storms in and around the Lethbridge area were also responsible for a power outage affecting more than 1,400 customers. Power was restored to all customers by 1 a.m. this morning. Today is the 25th anniversary of the Pine Lake tornado, the second deadliest tornado in Alberta history. On July 14th, 2000, an F3 tornado hit the Pine Lake area southeast of Red Deer. It destroyed a campground and trailer park. 12 people were killed, more than 100 injured. The tornado touched down at 7 in the evening. In all of Alberta history, only the Edmonton tornado of 1987, which killed 27 people, had a higher death toll. Reservoir levels in southern Alberta are slightly down. According to the province, the Old Man Reservoir currently has a storage level of 60% below normal. The St. Mary Reservoir is sitting at 69%, also below normal, and the Waterton Reservoir is below normal at 78%. It's expected the storage levels have dropped as more water is released downstream throughout the hot temperatures. A Blood Tribe woman has been arrested after she defeated her court order electronic monitoring device and was unlawfully at large. RCMP say 36-year-old Shaylee Eagle Plume Bruised-Head was on bail awaiting a court date to speak to 32 charges out of Calgary, Canmore, Chestermere, and Turner Valley. On July the 10th, she was found at a home in Lethbridge after she removed her electronic monitoring device. Bruised-Head now faces 2 further charges. She remains in police custody. Tomorrow, Prime Minister Mark Carney will hold a cabinet meeting focusing on trade talks with the United States amidst the 35% trade tariff on Canadian exports. Last week, Trump sent a letter to Carney that says starting on August 1st, he will be charging 35% on Canadian products sent into the U.S., separate from all sectoral tariffs. Premier Danielle Smith says it's frustrating and challenging to determine where Canada stands, but she is relieved Alberta goods will be exempt because they are part of CUSMA.
All of Alberta's energy resources, oil, gas, bitumen, all of our agricultural products are exempt from tariffs. And that's what we've got to be working towards for every single product that we have going back and forth between our borders. The Americans benefit from our steel industry, from our copper industry, from our aluminum industry, from our integrated auto industry.
On July 22nd, the Prime Minister will meet with all provincial and territorial leaders at a meeting held by Ontario Premier Doug Ford. U.S. President Donald Trump is threatening 100% tariffs on Russia if the Kremlin doesn't reach a peace deal with Ukraine within 50 days. At the same time, announcing an arms deal with NATO countries, meaning they'll be allowed to buy American weapons and in turn send them to Ukraine.
We've made a deal today where we are going to be sending them weapons and they're going to be paying for them. The United States will not be having any payment made. We're not buying it, but we will manufacture it and they're going to be paying for it.
Making the announcement during a meeting with NATO Secretary General today, Trump says the weapons will be sent in the coming days. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky is now thanking Trump for the support. Well, Gina is back with a 5-day forecast right after this break. Plus, we have the results of a new study taking a deeper look at rising obesity rates in Canada during the pandemic.
Welcome back to the show. Gloomy looking west facing shot here through our Skywatch weather camera. We basically have been under these rain clouds all day and we'll continue to see that rain fall throughout much of the evening here. But in addition to the rain, we had some really strong wind speeds yesterday as well. So areas to the east of us, including that Cypress Hills area, clocked speeds of 115 kilometers an hour. Same if you're joining us in Claresholm. Calgary area close to 100 kilometers an hour. Lethbridge was at 70 78 kilometers an hour when that system moved through, and Pincher Creek 80 kilometers an hour. So it was a quick, nasty system that passed over Lethbridge, and now we're dealing with the rain and these cooler temperatures really throughout the duration of the week here. So this is what we're seeing right now, sitting at 13 here in the city, 12 over in Pincher Creek, and 16 in Medicine Hat. And tomorrow it should get a little bit better, but still below seasonal. Normally for this time of year, our highs are at around 26 degrees. We're going to be about 10 degrees cooler tomorrow with our forecast high just sitting at 16. And the rain, what's going to happen with that? We do see these rainfall warnings in effect, not for the Lethbridge area, but certainly to the west of us, closer to the BC border there. On the other side of the mountains, they're dealing with that severe thunderstorm watch as well. But just because we're not in that rainfall warning zone doesn't mean we're not seeing a good amount of rainfall over the city. Could be at about 10 millimeters today, 10 to 15. And look at this system. It's just a really long band of precipitation that's just gradually eking down closer to the U.S. border there. So once this system moves out a little later tomorrow, we'll get a reprieve with some sunshine in the forecast. But you see, we got a bit of a wait first. The widespread, it looks like it's going beyond the charts here, the rainfall that we could see tonight in the city, and it starts to taper off Tuesday morning. Over in Medicine Hat, a little bit less extreme when it comes to rainfall amounts, but still expecting those showers tonight. And then over in Cranbrook in the Kootenays, you're going to continue to see a gradual increase in the amount of rain you're receiving overnight before, again, the system tapers off heading into tomorrow morning. So let's take a look at that hour-by-hour forecast for you. You can see it really takes about 6 o'clock tomorrow morning before this starts to let up, all this rain. Then we'll get some nice clearing throughout the afternoon. Tuesday really will be quite nice after that system is done. And then a little bit more cloud working its way back into the forecast on Wednesday. Thunderstorms possible tonight in the East Kootenay with that watch in effect. 19 tomorrow with some morning fog and some lingering showers. Could be some heavy rain tonight in the Crow's Nest Pass area, so be mindful of that. And then tomorrow those showers will continue on and off with a high of 15. Medicine Hat could see more rain tonight as well, and then up to 19 tomorrow. A little bit of a sunny break, but expect those on and off showers. And for us, we'll see again morning rain tomorrow, then a mainly cloudy Tuesday for the morning. It should start to clear later in the day, shaping up to be a nice looking Wednesday there, but instability really will continue throughout the week.
Alberta now has more cases of measles than the entirety of the United States. Alberta Health recorded 30 new cases since Friday, bringing the province-wide total to 1,314 since the outbreak began. Across the U.S., there is a total of 1,288. Provincial data shows 87% of people who have been infected in Alberta are not vaccinated. Alberta Health Services says the measles vaccine is highly effective at preventing infection and complications. It is also free. Work is underway to expand services for Albertans with chronic kidney disease at Chinook Regional Hospital. The Alberta government is investing $22 million over 3 years to modernize and expand the renal dialysis unit at Chinook Regional Hospital in Lethbridge. The province says the investment will improve programs for Southern Albertans with chronic kidney disease and end-stage renal disease who depend on life-saving dialysis. A new study looking at obesity rates has found the pandemic was not good for waistlines. Those rates, particularly among young adults, rose faster than they had in the previous decade. It raises concerns about the potential long-term health impacts. Here's CTV's John Venavalle-Rao.
During COVID, as lockdowns took hold, this was Ontario's premier offering up his famous cheesecake recipe at a time when plenty of people were turning to comfort foods to help them get through the stresses of the pandemic.
Stay safe, stay healthy.
But the pandemic's disruptions to daily life appear to have taken a serious toll on waistlines, with obesity rates growing faster than they had in the previous decade.
It's an entire societal issue that we need to take a look at and think about what that impact of the pandemic has been for everybody.
The study, led by researchers at McMaster, analyzed data over 15 years from nearly 750,000 adults and was based on the body mass index. It found obesity rates went from 25% in 2009 to nearly 33% by 2023, with the rate of increase doubling during the pandemic to roughly 1 percentage point each year.
Especially for young people and for women, the rates of obesity rose at a much higher rate than for other groups during the pandemic.
Obesity can bring with it a higher risk of serious health issues, such as type 2 diabetes and certain kinds of cancer. It's not certain exactly why the rates increased. At the time, schools, gyms, and workplaces closed.
Everybody has to have Chips Ahoy.
And people did spend a lot more time at home, near to their kitchen.
Why would people have more of an intake? Maybe because of the isolation, maybe because of depression. So all these challenges could have led to greater amounts of calories going in.
The study authors suggest the stress of job loss or added responsibilities for caregiving may have also played a role, and they think it's something that deserves more research. John Valley-Rouse, CTV News, Toronto.
Still ahead on the CTV News at 5. We show you drone racing when we come back. Lethbridge Bulls were back in action this weekend as they played host to the Sylvan Lake Gulls Sunday. The Bulls opened the scoring in the bottom of the first to take a 1-0 lead before adding 4 more runs in the third. It would be too much for the Gulls as the Bulls would take a 5-3 win. Brooks Bombers had a dominant 15-5 win over the Energy City Cactus Rats yesterday. Tonight, the Bulls are on the road in Swift Current for a game against the 57s. The Bulls now sit in second place in the West Division with a 23-13 record. The Medicine Hat Mavericks are back in action tonight when they host the Saskatoon Berries at Athletic Park. The Toronto Blue Jays have been on a hot streak, and they're already looking to the future. The MLB draft went last night, and the Jays had the 8th overall pick and took JoJo Parker, a high school shortstop out of Mississippi. The Nationals took shortstop Eli Willits first overall. At 17 years old, he is the 3rd youngest first overall pick in the history of the draft. The other two, Ken Griffey Jr. in 1987, and the youngest ever was Tim Foley in 1968. Both were just a few months younger than Willett. A drone flying competition for young people tested competitor skills while also encouraging interest in unmanned aerial vehicles. It's called Drone Up Racing. About 40 high school and university students remote-controlled small drones through an obstacle course in the Calgary Chinese Cultural Center Saturday. Competitors gained practical experience with drone piloting and learned more about robotics. The event was hosted by Advanced UAV. It's a Calgary-based drone manufacturer. In Calgary, Stephen Avenue set the stage for an emerging sport and show of strength called mass wrestling. It's quite different than Olympic wrestling. Competitors sit with their feet against a board, both grasping a wooden dowel. Then it becomes a tug-of-war type match. Often one of the wrestlers is launched into the air. Mass wrestling originated as an indigenous sport in the northeast region of Siberia. This is the 2nd annual North American tournament, and winning competitors will move on to the world competition in Mongolia later this month. He's being called a two-armed talent, the high school quarterback who's drawing attention from the NFL. He spoke to ABC's Danny New.
This is the first ever ambidextrous quarterback.
It may be football off-season, but for Mikey Gow of Bellevue, Nebraska, there's no room for downtime when you have 2 arms to work on.
They're here. You could get it this way or you could get it this way. I've shown that in like the videos that we've made.
He's making throws that Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen could never make.
In the past few weeks, the rising high school senior has been picking up millions of views online for possibly being the first ambidextrous quarterback prospect. However, this is not Mikey's first time going viral.
His name is Mikey Gow.
His rare duality also got him quite a bit of attention from SportsCenter his sophomore year. And 2-time NFL MVP Lamar Jackson even shared the video, writing #1 overall pick with not 1 but 4 fire emojis. But Mikey was not born ambidextrous. His first love was baseball. When he came down with a right arm injury and faced a year of not being able to pitch, Mikey became obsessed with his left arm.
Putting on your pants, if you put them on with your right leg, you switch it over to your left leg. You have to think that.
So you were 9 years old tricking yourself to be a lefty? You already had all these thoughts?
Oh, yeah.
Now just dedicated to football, Mikey has mostly been throwing righty in high school, since many coaches are still a little skeptical. As his dad says,
whatever they want to do is what he'll do.
Initially, he had picked up interest from top programs like Notre Dame and Michigan. But after breaking his wrist his sophomore year, Mikey says his momentum has just not been the same.
It's kind of hard to get in late.
But he is still getting Division I interest after winning a district championship last season. And now going into his final one, his coaches are apparently building a whole offense around his two not-so-secret weapons.
I think it's something I just got to go out there and prove.
Now, it's something all golfers dream of, and one young woman did it on her very first round. Emma Strong got a hole-in-one on the Kananaskis golf course the first time she golfed in her life. The thrilling moment was posted on the golf course's social media pages. Strong is from Manchester, England, and is working out the golf course in the snack shack for the summer. A friend convinced her to play around, and Emma got a hole-in-one on the par 3 third hole on the Mount Lorette. Emma says the rest of her round was terrible. She has played another round since then, equally unimpressive, and thinks that she might have to retire from the game of golf. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, we've got the story of a roller skating senior when we come back. Now to a BC senior who decided to celebrate a big birthday on rollerblades. Adam Sawatsky has that story.
While contemplating what to do for her upcoming birthday, Sonia knew what she didn't want to be.
I am not going to be a rocking chair granny.
So she started considering her life thus far.
That's me right there.
But instead of dwelling on the tears shed at the orphanage,
I want to dwell on good things.
Sonia recalled the smiles made there while roller skating.
In those days, we only had little wheels with a little key.
Very different than the rollerblades she donned for her 80th birthday.
That feels fabulous. You feel like you're in the clouds.
But this was just the beginning.
When I decide to do something, I do it.
Sonia decided to celebrate by rollerblading more than 350 kilometers over 7 days.
My motto is, I can do anything I want as long as I don't hurt anybody.
But what about hurting herself? What about the osteoporosis that caused Sonia to break 10 bones?
I was scared because I'm made of glass.
But Sonia faced her fear and started training 5 days a week because this journey was bigger than her.
I still have sorrows.
After her husband of more than 50 years, Roberto, died, Sonia says her adopted cat Holly was a crucial comfort.
She kept me from falling apart.
So Sonia turned her journey into a fundraiser for the SPCA, rollerblading in a different costume every day.
I'm a nutcase. I love doing things to make people happy.
And after completing her birthday goal,
I did it.
Sonia says the best way to celebrate every day is bettering yourself so you can better others.
Woohoo!
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Parksville.
Thank you for sharing this time with us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.